After a split of 2 games in the first week of the 2024-25 season for the Duquesne Dukes women's basketball team, they head back home on Saturday to face the Niagara Purple Eagles. And that is where we start the Duquesne Sports Pregame Show. Hello, I'm Jack Morgan. Alongside me, Dylan Pfister. We're going to break this one down for you as Duquesne looks to get off of that 500 mark and improve to 2-1 on the season, facing a Niagara team that Duquesne Sports is pretty familiar with facing overall. Now, Dylan, first 2 games for Duquesne have been pretty promising. I mean, you won that first game, obviously, against Princeton, a March Madness team last year, and then you almost took down Penn State at State College. What have you seen in those first 2 games from the Dukes?
Yeah, pretty 2 interesting and telling games so far for the Dukes. Like you said, they beat that really good Princeton team by 10 points. And now the game didn't look that way. They were actually down 62-56 going into that fourth quarter. So we all know the Dukes went on a 20-4 point run, ending up winning that game against the Tigers. But then, like you said again, Jack, that tough loss against another good team, 2 wild games to start the season for the Dukes, going back-to-back Princeton and Penn State. Obviously a difficult task. They would lose that one, but put up 83 points against a very good Penn State team. So will be interesting to see if they can get above that 500 mark here in this third game.
Definitely going to be interesting as well. This is also a 7 o'clock start time on a Saturday. Gotta say, I don't remember seeing this often for any of Duquesne sports, so definitely going to be interesting in many facets of the game. So Duquesne, obviously, we talked about it in the first pregame show we did for the Princeton game. They are a very new-look team. They have a bunch of new players. I mean, obviously, you got the core of Megan McConnell, Journey Kiaku coming back from last year, that guard play. But there's also been a lot of contributions to this Duquesne side from newcomers. And what have you seen, Dylan, in terms of players making contributions? I know Nadia Moore has been one, Gabby Hutcherson from Pitts, but anyone else?
Yeah, Nadia Moore is definitely one I want to touch on there, Jack. You know, this is a girl, she's shooting 5 of 10 from the floor. Obviously, it's not a lot of opportunity, but already she's been very accurate. She's only played 33 minutes on this team, but she's tied for first with McConnell in threes. So that just goes to show the power on offense that Moore has provided in her first year. But you're right, you also talk about Gabby Hutcherson from Pitt. Now, I want to go back to this Duquesne Dukes team as a whole. They've been in 3-point heaven so far this season, Jack. They actually lead the A-10 in 3-pointers. Now, I know it's only been 2 games, but 25 3-pointers so far for this team after losing Tess Myers is very impressive. And I want to now point us back to those new players. Gabby Hutcherson, Nadia Moore, responsible for 9 of those 25 3-pointers. Both newcomers, both top 3 in 3-point attempts for the Dukes. So you can really see where they've come into play on that side of the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And Duquesne will go up against the Purple Eagles, and definitely Purple Eagles are looking to kind of kickstart their season. They obviously play in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. Pretty good conference, and Duquesne has played a couple of those foes. And just kind of walk me through Niagara and what you're looking at when you see this Purple Eagle team.
Well, they've had a tough go around, that's for sure. They are 0-3, and they did win a game early on, but it was an exhibition match, did not count. So they're 0-3. They've lost every game by at least 34 points. Obviously not a good look, but still a lot of positives for this team, as they gave the Dukes a good run last year. We can get a little bit into that game, but they only lost by 3 to the Dukes last time around.
That was on the road, correct?
It was.
At Niagara.
It was at Niagara. And specifically, I'm looking at Amelia Strong. She leads the team with 33 points. She hasn't even shot a 3. All year. Not only hasn't she made one, she hasn't even shot one. Just goes to show kind of the style of offense that this Purple Eagles team likes to play and how it contrasts the Dukes offense that I just talked about. So it'll be really fun to watch those 2 sides go to work.
It's almost like 2 different game plans clashing. And obviously, I should point out, as you said, rough go around to start. They have played 3 straight Power 5 teams, including West Virginia, who's actually ranked, and that was in Morgantown. A few tough games, and now they go into an even, a tough matchup as well with Duquesne. And this will be, 4 tough opponents in 11 days. Duquesne has had some time to rest, right? They haven't played since Sunday against Penn State, as obviously we said. They were kind of in that game, but also Penn State did take that one pretty comfortably, you'd have to say. And so now you go into a situation, if you're Niagara, where Duquesne has played a lot of good basketball at home over the years. How much do you think it helps Duquesne? Because you said last year's matchup was very close on the road. How much does it help them to now be at home, coming back after a week off and kind of get rejuvenated again?
It certainly helps, especially with the newfound, let's say, fame that the Duquesne Dukes basketball program has gotten as an entire unit this season. We've had so many fans in that stadium for this school, and it's been so fun to watch. I think having this game in the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse is definitely a big advantage for the Dukes. As we saw, it definitely helped them in that rally, going on a 20-4 run against Princeton late in that game.
Now let's take a look at players to watch for both sides. Duquesne, obviously, we talked about the stars that in Meg McConnell that have kind of came out to play so far, and talk about the newcomers. But what is a certain player that you think is going to have to play a big role in Saturday's game against Niagara?
Jack, I'm looking specifically at Keandra Brown, the returning Duquesne Duke from last season. It was her first year with the team last year, of course. And this is a girl that is 6'2", providing a lot of height to a team that lost Precious Johnson, lost Amaya Hamilton. So they're going to rely on her a lot in the paint, especially in the rebounding game. And this is a team that's struggling with rebounds, Jack. They only have 58 to this point in the season. That's last in the conference. And Keandra Brown has struggled a little bit too. She did have 5 against Princeton, only 1 against Penn State. I'm looking for a big game from Keandra Brown to step it up for the Dukes.
Yeah, that's a pretty good pick, actually. I'm going to go with Journey Kiaku. I think a lot of Duquesne's offense still, they shoot a lot of threes. They still do, and you touched on it. Obviously, they lost some of that three-point shooting. They still do, and they like to play fast. A player that on this team that likes to play fast, Journey Kiaku. I mean, she plays very fast. It's always, and Dan Birch said this in the post-game presser against Princeton, they want to run it. They want to get out and run. They want to play hard for 40 minutes and wear down their opponent. They did that against Princeton. Journey Kiaku is one of the best on this team at doing that and playing fast. I think she's going to have to factor into this game plan. I think if she can get things going along with McConnell, I think that they can really run Niagara out the gym, figuratively, so to speak, early in this game.
That's a really good pick, Jack. I definitely agree with you there because I think it was important to remember how Duquesne had emphasized that early in the season that they were going to out-hustle teams. Yes. We had heard that reports actually from the practice team, from the men's practice team for the women's squad, that they were faster and stronger than ever, and they were just going to out-endurance every team that they played.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, I can attest to that. I heard that as well. I mean, yeah, they're a really fun team to watch, I'd say. And definitely, if you get the chance to watch this one, you should. And we're going to move towards Niagara's side now, right? Who do they need to get going so that they can combat this Duquesne offense and defense, the whole side that has been running and gunning for 40 minutes, as Dan Burt will say? What do they need? Well,
I talked about strong, obviously, and that kind of tactic, scoring within, inside that three-point line. But they have another threat, the Purple Eagles. Talia Dial, believe it or not, she does have 9 threes on the year. That does lead the team. But behind her, only 3 Purple Eagles have made a 3 all season. none of them have made more than 2. So in a game when they're playing a team who can go toe-to-toe with any three-point shooting team in the league, in the conference, they're going to have to step up to the plate in some way. They're not going to be able to just put 2s up on the board for the entire game and beat a really good Duquesne team. They're going to have to rely on Dial to at least put up a couple 3s and be able to compete on the scoreboard with the Dukes.
You touched on Amelia Strong, and I did want to put that out there as a player to watch as well. She shot 2 of 10 in the last game against Penn State. Obviously, Penn State's not an easy opponent on the road. Duquesne will tell you that. But I do think that she needs to shoot a little bit of a better percentage. Obviously, she's been that main source of offense for them so far. I think that's very important. Stick with what has worked, but I think she needs to shoot a better percentage. And if she does, now I think Niagara can really hang in there with Duquesne. But we're going to get to our game picks now. As part of the show, we're going to give you our game picks for Duquesne versus Niagara, 7 o'clock at the Coop, Saturday night. Dylan, who do you got coming out on top?
This is a really good Dukes team, but it's a really good Purple Eagles team, too. They only average 56, 57 points a game right in the middle there, while Duquesne, they've been averaging almost 80. I'm taking the Dukes in this one comfortably 78-60 over the Niagara Purple Eagles.
I like that pick as well. I think Duquesne is going to be able to control this game in a more comfortable fashion than Niagara. I think they're going to be able to get their shots. I think they're going to be able to get out and run and just tire out this Purple Eagle team. If they were able to do it to Princeton, I got a lot of confidence in the fact that they'll be able to do it to the Purple Eagles. So I got Duquesne winning this one. Not an exact score, but I do have them winning by double digits. So you could say comfortably. I will also go with that comfortably. So that'll do it for the Duquesne Sports Pregame Show. For Dylan Pfister, I'm Jack Morgan saying so long. Enjoy the game, everyone.